Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. If you're looking to fix your credit and to help yourself get out of debt, please contact Transparent Credit Repair at www.transparentcreditrepair.com, and you can call them at 862-250-5122. Today we're going to talk to someone who is well hidden but well known at the same time when it comes to hip hop, whether he's making beats or he's MCing and giving you his gift of wordplay as well as beat production. Today we're talking to Will Sully, who comes from Queens, New York, but resides in Long Island. And in both places, he makes lots of noise with his creativity. His new album, Life After X, is out right now, which you should go check out. And today, we're going to bring you not only his intellectual side, but his love for the community and for hip-hop. So please stay tuned and listen to this interview, and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary when it's finished.
Peace and blessings, everybody, and welcome to Heritage Hip Hop. I have somebody on the line that is not only proficient when it comes to talking the talk, but he makes the beats that goes with the rhymes. Introduce yourself to the people, please.
All right, what's up, everybody? It's Will Sully from Catacomb Music. Peace, peace.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So usually when people do interviews, they usually ask people, how'd you get into music and all that? I hate those questions because obviously if you're here, you have done something with music. My main question to you, how did you get into music, is how do you maintain your ear for good music?
Research and practice. What I do is I listen and I read a lot about the artists that came before us, and I'm talking about the greats, the jazz era, the R&B era. So it's a lot of homework to do, and it's just the stories. If you read the stories of the artists that paved the way for us now, you would you will learn to appreciate the things that aren't glorified in music today. So that's really that's my way. I listen to a lot of the greats, the older guys, the guys who are with us, the girls too, and just read and do research about the game.
Word. But you know what, Mr. Will Sully, you know what I like about your music that I don't think most people will probably tell you is that your tracks have voices in the tracks. You ever heard that before?
You're the first person that really touched on that.
Okay. Well, okay, since I'm the first, tell me what do you think I mean by that, and let's go into your music.
I mean, you obviously you're listening because that's done on purpose. Like that's like a style that I really like, and I like from when I started, making hip hop beats or whatever. I always liked voices in it. To me, it just filled in the spaces, and it just made it a little more interesting than just the regular instruments. Because the voice is an instrument too, but when you incorporate the voice inside of the beat, it's like it's a story by itself without you even rapping. That's how I always took it. And I gotta give credit to I think the RZA and Havoc were the first people that I really remember that would do that. So I'm giving them their props. Like that's once I heard them do it, it was like something that I really wanted to have in my music.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's why I'm nobody's fan. Maybe one person. But when I listen to something, I really feel it. That's because it has depth within it. Like for instance, when you hear a lot of beats today, a lot of people have open spaces and there's air in the beats. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's a difference between a full composition and then the layout of instrument. How did you learn to compose your beats instead of just laying down sounds and beats?
Well, I play keyboard a little bit, and I was I read music. So to me, the music, if the music was empty, I would always fill it in. Even if I didn't sample, I would put extra notations in there, or even maybe like a synthesizer laying under under the beat just to fill in the spaces. To me, if it's empty, it's not right to me. I never like too much space. I learned to appreciate the space because sometimes the voice, that's all you need, over some drums. But my style, I just need a lot of like energy or just a lot of things going on in the beat because I listen to the beat first. The beat draws me in. So
Right.
that's how I do it. It's just like like when I think about music, I'm thinking of that big band sound, that orchestra sound. That's what I'm chasing. Even though hip hop, you don't need all of that going on, but you can still incorporate that big sound in your beats, whatever genre it is.
Word. So, in talking composition of the Will Sully sound, what is the beginning of the beat for you? Is it the drum or is it the harmony that makes the drums come alive?
The beginning is the drum for me. The drum,
Okay.
if the drums aren't right, like I get inspired by the drums, and it's not necessarily the drum pattern. It could just be the quality of the snare and the kick and the way it hits. And nowadays we heavily trap influenced, so depending on how the drum sound is where I would go with it, even the tempo. But it's the drums first, because I could play a bunch of different notes or loops of myself, or I can just find the right chopped up sample to fit in there. But if the drums is not right, it's not gonna go down. In my opinion, you can't. To me, it ain't gonna work without the drums.
You come from New York, and New York is the beginning of that cold, hard, bass-heavy drum. Why do you think New York has always set the tempo and how the rhythm is felt in the beat rather than the beat talking to the track?
I think New York set the trend with the drum, with that hard drum coming out of the disco era and catching those loops. So Kool Herc and them and all those dudes in the Bronx that was doing it, they just knew, like, for some reason that this loop right here is the one right here. This is it. We gonna sample James Brown. But then I guess in my opinion, when Marley Marl started to throw the 808 on top of it, it just changed everything. Like, okay, this is how the drums gotta hit now. They gotta hit hard, and if they don't hit hard, then you can go home.
Word. I could feel and appreciate that because let's take Marley Marl out of it and let's stick where you're from. You're from Long Island, New York. That's Strong Island. Am I correct?
No, I'm from Queens. I live in Long Island now, but I'm from Queens.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, so then let's go back to that because usually when I think about Long Island, and I was going there first, you think about Public Enemy, you think about EPMD, and that was a lot of heavy music. But Queens is like at the heart of debate on who represents hip-hop more, Brooklyn or Queens. Since you're from Queens, what do you say?
Queens, no question. No question.
Yo, the legacy of Brooklyn versus Queens is part of the staples of hip hop. But let's talk Queens for a little bit because Queens is at the top of the game. KRS-One cut Queens at the knees, and then when Nas came, it's like Queens was able to stick their chest out again, right?
Right, exactly.
So then you come from under that era, the after Nas era. Am I correct?
Right.
Okay, so in coming in the after the Nas era, the Queensbridge Finest era, the Lakes and the who's my man? Was it Ali Vegas? Is he one of them?
Ali Vegas, yep. Yeah, he's from
Lake,
Queens. Yep.
Yeah, Lake. You come from the Lake Ali Vegas era, where Big Noise and them was really coming out and doing a lot of noise and damage, right?
Right.
What makes Queens always stand out when it comes to their beats and their rhymes?
I think Queens has the flow. A lot of Queens rappers are visual rappers, And I think that comes from Cool G rap. I think a lot of us borrow Cool G raps, or we learn from G rap how to paint the picture. So you know, when Queens had that run, that Queensbridge run, it was just like, all right, you got all these MCs, and the way I feel is that I feel like Wu-Tang kind of opened the door for to hear like raw lyricism over these beats. But then Queens, we were polished because we're coming from that history, and plus it's diverse in Queens where you got that Queensbridge side, and then you got the Jamaica Queens side where LL was from, Run DMC is from, and that gave birth to Onyx and 50 Cent and Lost Boys and all that. So, you know, all across Queens you could hear different styles. But your lyrics, your bars had to be right no matter where you was at. And we had a lot to prove because, of course, the Brooklyn rivalry was crazy. And then we had our own, another thing was we had our own producers also with their own styles.
Right. You know what's dope about what you just said? Because this is going to go into why I like your music, is that I'm from Jersey. So one of the stigmas people have about Jersey is they think Jersey's one big landmass, which is not true. And Jersey has different styles within it. Because New York to me is like the Game of Thrones. Y'all got kingdoms. Each borough is like its own kingdom. The thing about Queens is Queens had a prove it to me first before you can go do it anywhere else. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Y'all have one of the greatest MCs that nobody talks about, in my opinion, and that's Sticky Fingers. Sticky Fingers is a monster.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites too, and I think I always wonder about that because when it comes from bar for bar, he was definitely at one time there was nobody better than him in the city. I just think that I think Onyx after the second album they went deep and people weren't ready for what they were saying. Yeah. Even though if you listen to the second album now, it's like, oh shit, they was right. They was talking that talk, but they was ahead of their time. And
no, the second album is a classic. No, that's a classic. All We Got Is Us is a classic.
To me, yes, I agree with you. That's one of my favorite albums, like of all time. But it just, I don't know. They didn't know hip hop was changing. You know what it is too? Hip hop was becoming so much commercial. So the commerciality of hip-hop was crazy at that time, so if you wasn't making the Bad Boy records and you wasn't doing those type of numbers, you was kind of getting washed up. So, listen, to me, Redman should be mentioned in everybody's top 5, but I don't know how they forget about him. He's one of the best MCs.
It's because he's from Jersey.
That's crazy. You know, I don't dig that. Like, to me, Jersey is New York to me when I think about hip-hop. We love Jersey hip-hop. We love, KG is one of the best producers, like,
ever.
I don't think, ever. So it's like, that's corny, but we got to set the trend right. We got to give everybody their props without the mainstream, whatever, okay or whatever. We're going to say what's right now. And Sticky, Redman, these guys need their props.
True. And you know what? I'm glad you said that because that segues into you perfectly. Because I believe the genius of Will Sully's music is he makes beats like he makes rhymes. He goes bar for bar and structures the pattern. Am I correct?
Correct.
How is that an advantage that you schedule your beats like that so that the MCs can be MCs and not overthinkers when they create?
How can I answer that?
Just tell us your truth.
I try to lay the production out so that you don't have to me, the production has to be perfect for somebody to just get on and write. If it's not ready, then it doesn't make sense. The music has to be laid down first. That's the foundation. Then the rapper gets on there, but the rapper has to get on there like, okay, this is my time. It's his show. So that's what I'm thinking when I'm making that beat or I'm doing a new project. Okay, to get the beats right first. Where's the beats at? Let's get them right. And sometimes the beats don't go with the artist. You got to learn your sound also, what complements your as an artist, there's certain types of beats that just sit well with me as an artist, and that took a long time to learn.
You know what's dope about what you just said? You said learning, because every MC is different. Every MC requires a different sound. Your breakout beat everybody talks about, or is written as your breakout beat, was Martyr for Shyne. When you work with Shyne, what did you learn to prepare you to work with him and other artists?
When I did that record for Shyne, me and Nasheem Merrick had talked about that, and he asked me. He said, "Will, do you know why that beat made the album?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so." Now you know Nasheem is somebody that I still look up to. He's a hitman. He produced Who Shot You for Biggie Smalls. So when I was coming up, I wanted to be him. I wanted to be I want to produce records that he did. So anyway, he asked me that question, and I said, "Yeah, I think so." And he said, "Well, what do you think?" And I said, "The drums." I took the Hot Music drums, the club record Hot Music, slowed them down, and then I played some keys over it.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Yeah, you're right." And what I learned from that was when you can give an artist that's something familiar with a little twist on it, and it works like you would never believe. Just give them something that they can relate to. That's what I learned.
That's the essence of hip-hop. Taking what somebody knows and then adding something new to inspire. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
And that's the essence of why I think when people hear this interview, I'm imploring everybody right now that's hearing this when this interview drops, go check out your history and know that I have somebody on the line that's not only proficient to the ear, but he's giving you something that you knew you wanted, you just didn't know existed because people are hiding real hip-hop behind the radio and mainstream garbage.
Facts.
Through your trek in hip-hop, you work with credible artists like Mike Geronimo, R.I.P. Fred the Godson. Who was one of your favorite collabos that you did, and why was that one of your favorites?
One of my favorite collabos was with Panama P.I. And a lot of people don't know who Panama P.I. is, but we talked about something that relates to him earlier, which is the All We Got Is Us album. He was on that album with Onyx. He was the one that did the hook, "Evil Streets is Rough, Ain't Nobody You Could Trust." So anyway, when I was young kid, I see him rapping in the park or whatever. He was always freestyling, and then when I got old enough to really holler at him, like, yo, P, I want to do a record with you. You know, can you come to the studio? And he said, yeah. So he came there. I had a record called "Hand Me the Keys," and he jumped on the hook, hyped it up, spit a little freestyle at the end, and it's one of my best records I've ever done. Because he's a professional, you know, just one of those other stories of somebody who has super talent, but the dice didn't fall the right way. But that's one of my favorite records. It's called "Hand Me the Keys." It's on a project called Stockpile. It's on all the streaming outlets. You can check it out.
I'm trying to remember my man who you're talking about.
He's the guy
I'm a boulder, a universal soldier, huh?
Yeah.
I'm ill like Fire Marshal Bill. That dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to him, yo, cause on that Evil Streets video, he ripped that joint. That joint is crazy.
Yeah.
But, hey, play this interview for him when it come out, just to let him know that in Jersey we got love for him, cause that album is a classic. We're gonna get everybody the respect on that album.
Definitely.
I want to ask you this question as a producer more than just an artist. Why do you think so many hip-hop beats are missing soul today?
I think that, you kind of touched on that earlier. Like, that's just not the thing that they want to push. That's not the agenda that they want. Like, in my opinion, hip-hop is not being expressed by, the people who create the hip-hop. I think it's what the industry or the labels want to put in front, of these of the platform. It's what they put on the platform that they're saying is hip hop. But the real hip hop, a lot of people don't have the chance. So it's soul out there. It's just not in the forefront by the powers that be. They don't want that. They want this type of music. And a lot of that is samples. The industry doesn't want to deal with samples anymore. Well, they haven't. They didn't want to deal with samples since probably Cash Money and No Limit came around because they felt, hey, we could mess with these guys. We don't have to clear the sample. Business is business. So that's another reason. Soul goes out the window. We want this type of hip hop. No samples. We don't got to clear it. We make more money. That's what I think.
But that's a bad look because, and shout out to you for the voices you use because that's what makes people want to study music is when you heard somebody use something somebody else did, that makes the song better. Like you know what? Me and a friend of mine, shout out to Big A, we were talking about Kanye West's use of Diana Ross on the Nas song with Kanye, Still Dreaming, right?
Right.
That's a classic. Cassette Michelle sung her ass off on that. And it's that sample that made you go back to, yo, that is interesting. Even today's new artists, people are sampling early 2000s and late 90s hip-hop beats to make songs again. It's a girl who got a Cash Rules song out with Method Man. And it's rocking right now. You got people using soul samples on the underground or the mixtape. And that's what's keeping hip-hop alive. What is the pulse of hip-hop now, in your opinion?
It's almost flatlining to me. Like it's not looking good. Like I think it's two different things. It's rap music and then it's hip hop.
Right.
Hip hop, we need a bigger platform. Like we need more. We need shows like your show. We need that to be for the masses. But we're not getting that shot. I mean, technology it didn't level out the playing field. It helps a little bit because people can pick and choose what they want to listen to a little easier. Now, back when I was coming up, you couldn't, it was either Hot 97 or that was it, or 98 or BLS. And then that changed to 105 and Hot 97. But, now you can go online, you go to YouTube and find things. But still, there's still the industry still has their grips on what is getting heard and what doesn't get heard, what gets promoted, what doesn't, what messages get promoted, what doesn't get promoted. So I think the real hip hop is holding on, but I think we need a bigger platform. We need the I guess those I don't know, the industry needs to wake up. They complain about sales, but they're not signing the right artists. They sign an artist that, just got a couple of streams or whatever. All right, that's hot. We're going to sign you. And then they're putting money behind that instead of putting money behind the core. I just don't get it. It's money. It seems like a money grab.
Man, with you saying that, thank you for the acknowledgement of the platform, and I'm indebted to you for that. Thank you so much. But then that goes to thank you. That goes to beg the question, though. The question is, then why is hip-hop chasing a dead industry instead of establishing its own new industry?
I think the guys that have done it, they need to open up the lanes more. That's what I think it is. It's like you have a bunch of successful artists that don't go into ownership. They don't build the platforms. Like, very few artists will start their own labels and put other artists out. So, there's not many Kanyes. There's not many Jay-Z's. There's not many Cam'rons. We need guys like that, more of them. And they did it. Cam'ron, it wasn't that successful as an artist, with numbers. But he's successful as a businessman. He put on a whole new wave. If you think about all the people that came under Cam, he has an army, but he just had the mind. We need more artists to think that way. All right, just so what if you're not selling all these records or whatever, you still could make big moves with your voice. That's what I think needs to happen.
shout out to Cam because he's a GOAT. So let's go to the single Life After X. That is helping to change the platform of the industry and the game. Talk about the single and what you wanted to accomplish with it besides get people to hear it.
Life After X was the follow up. The album is called Life After X, and the single is the title track. It was the follow up to a project I had called Generation X. So Life After X was supposed to be, that's the 2 out of the 1-2 punch. Like, okay, now we rolling again. And the streaming era is new for a lot of independent artists like me. But we've been putting out music. It's just now this is it's a new platform for us to put our music on. So this is like my 3rd album since the streaming era really started. So it was just the beginning of Will Sully starting over again, Life After X. So in the hook, I'm explaining that. Taking my first breath, the man-child taking his first steps. And this record was going to tell you who Will Sully was, not watered down, not compromised. This is me. It's unorthodox, but this is what I do. And if either you're going to like this or not. So that's really what it was. It was, clear and cut right there, Life After X.
You know what's funny about what you said? Because I wanted to ask you this. Who's the young man on the cover of Generation X, and who's the young man on the cover on the Life After X since you said that?
The young man on the cover of Generation X is me, and the young man on the cover of Life After X is my son, my oldest son.
Okay. You know what's dope about how we continue the transition of hip hop from the 70s generation to our generation to the next generation is that hip hop is like how they used to do back in the days where oral tradition and oral history kept the culture alive. And that's what makes our albums important, is that we keep the culture alive. What part of the culture do you want to keep alive more so than what the industry is giving?
The musicianship.
That's interesting.
I believe that this is not like a joke and a game, like some fluke thing that we stumbled upon and we started making money. There's been work that's been put in, real work. I know artists like myself and other artists who work their entire lives, making this music, making these beats, playing these keyboards, writing these rhymes. This is an art form, and it's our art form that we created, so we have to protect it. And not to say that nobody else could do it, but we have to take it serious. If you want to pass it on and you want to, if you want it to last a long time, you want the longevity to be there, you have to nurture it, you got to take care of it, and you have to educate yourself when it comes to music. It's not just something that, you can just wake up every day and if you don't learn it, you're going to be able to do it well. You got to practice, learn a little bit of music, learn how to read, work on your voice, learn writing. Like, if you can write a rhyme, you can write a movie. I don't want rappers to feel like I just rap. No, your rap is a movie.
Oh.
Just keep writing. Like, writing is not just a rhyme. It's harder to write a rhyme than it is to write an R&B song or a story. If you can write a story in a rhyme, you got it. Because we watch movies. They're not rhyming.
That's a deep point. You know what I think, bro? I'm gonna tell you the truth. Nobody understands how hard hip hop is until you try it.
Right.
I'm gonna be real. I love hip hop. I've rapped before, but I know the difference between rapping and MCing. I knew it wasn't for me because I can have the subject matter, but I might not be able to deliver and express it the way I need it to come out. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's one thing to make sound. It's one thing to make a beat, and there's another thing to compose a beat. You have to try it to understand the depth of it to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
You have a label or a movement called Catacombs Inc. And a catacomb is a place where you go deep to find hidden meaning and information. What are they going to find out when they find your music?
it's like buried treasure. Like
Mm.
it's a lot of gems in the catacomb.
That's right.
You know, and it's not something that the catacomb was. We never was trying to be somebody else. We always kept it to ourselves. We admired and we respected other artists and other crews or whatever, but we did our own thing, and we still doing our own thing. So that's it. That's the catacomb sound, and we hold on to that.
Word. I want you to before we go into the end of the conversation, because this is a dope interview. Please, I had to ask you about one song. Tell me about Deaf Dealers.
Oh, okay.
I like that joke.
Deaf Dealers. Oh, good looking. Deaf Dealers is with my partners, Main the Medicine and Legion. Actually,
Yeah.
Legion produced that record also, and
Nice.
that's those two guys. We were all a group years ago. We started out together in high school, and we still rap on each other's projects. We still hold each other down. That's Catacomb right there. So
Okay.
the Deaf Dealers were supposed to be a project. It hasn't come out yet, but so we released one of the records on the 13th floor just to warm people up to what's gonna come.
Right. That's dope, yo. I look forward to hearing that. Like I said, if you ever want to bring the project out, Heritage Hip Hop will support you, and we could do another interview, or we could profile it. You know, it's whatever. Our goal is not to continue the legacy of the hip hop industry. It's to continue to celebrate the hip hop culture and to bring awareness to the masses that hip hop is more than what you hear on the radio, what you see on TV. Hip hop comes from God, is God given, and you live it every day. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Big fact.
So with that said, this interview is not over by far, but please drop your social media so people know how to get in touch with you, and also know how they can get your music.
All right, I'm on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube at Will Sully Beats. It's one word, Will Sully Beats. I have a website also, willsullybeats.com. Right now it's under construction. It's not up. It's not ready right now, but it's gonna be real soon. So besides that, I'm on Facebook at Will Sully Sullivan. And musically, I'm everywhere. I'm on all the streaming platforms. You can check my music out, even SoundCloud, Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, all of them. If you don't have a subscription, you can go to YouTube, you can go to SoundCloud. I'm all over there.
That's right. And before we go on with our interview, I want to say this. Will Sully makes quality music. If you like the person who just want to hear people from the industry, he's been in the industry, and he's in the industry, and he also does it himself. So for all those people who think heritage hip-hop is not about exposing those who really do it, he does it and he lives it. But most importantly, streaming is okay. Go check out his music. But if you really like his music, don't just stream it, purchase it. We spend $1 on scratch offs. We spend $1 on juices or waters. Take the $, buy the single. And if the single's really that good and you hear more, put the $3.96 to $7.99 and $10 down for his album, because he makes quality music, and we want to make sure Catacombs Incorporated not only keeps making good music, but they have a lane and people who appreciate them by putting their money down. So please show your purchase power, and let's keep this movement and his movement going. All right?
Yeah, thank you. Shout to Heritage Hip Hop. I appreciate
Thank you
y'all.
very much. Oh, thank you very much, because we bought the music, so it's all good. I put my money where my mouth is, man. We got to support. We got to keep us moving. You know what I'm saying?
Salute to you, definitely.
All right, so here we go, man. Now we're going to get ready for the rapid fire questions. Now, the rapid fire questions are not yes/no questions. I don't ask you who you want to have sex with, what you like to eat, or your favorite color, because I don't care. The things I ask you about are most about your depth and you as an artist. Are you ready to make history?
Sure, let's go.
All right, here you go. Question number 1. What song or album perfectly describes you, and it cannot be an album or song that you've made?
So we supposed to name other artists, other albums.
Yeah, like somebody's song or album that perfectly embodies you.
Nas Illmatic.
Oh wow! Now see that now I gotta ask you a question. That's deep. I read an article that says Nas Illmatic is the album that destroyed hip hop. And in that article it said that was the first album where people had super producers and the one producer, one MC sound died. What is your take on that as a producer and an MC?
I don't agree with that.
Oh, good.
I disagree. Because I don't think Illmatic is a classic because it had a whole bunch of different producers. I think if Nas would have had one producer, it still would have been a classic. It's the content that I see. Now, of course, that combination has to be. You can't have a subpar producer and an excellent MC. It's not going to work out right, or vice versa. You can't have a super duper producer and or vice versa, whatever. What I'm trying to say is we've seen this with groups like what was the group that Primo had, that Gangstar had, Group Home. Group Home. Now Group Home was the one producer and the one artist scenario. But the artists, they really, I don't think they could hold it up. I'm not saying they was whack, but I don't think they could hold it up
to the
beat. To the beats that Primo was giving. Now, you give those same beats to an artist that's, that excels lyrically, then it's going to be a different story. Now, EPMD, that was the producer, the producer and the artist sound. To me, that's my favorite group. My sound is, if it wasn't for EPMD, I don't know, I might not even be doing hip hop. So that's why I don't agree with that Illmatic album killing hip hop. I don't agree.
Okay, that's great. I'm glad I got your opinion. That's important. Let's continue on. In the wake of George Floyd, Tatiana Jefferson, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, and so many others, known and unknown, what is hip-hop's responsibility to the American public, and how should hip-hop police itself?
I believe hip-hop should be a little more conscious of the message that we're putting out there. Okay. It's not, the music is deeper. The music touches people or kids more than the artists believe. And we have to really be careful with what we're putting out there, and we have to still teach. We got to teach ourselves and teach the world how things are supposed to be also, because music is the easiest way to learn through music. So with the current situation in this country, this is nothing new either. The only reason why this is being played is thank God for the cell phone. I had an argument with a guy today, a Caucasian guy, who was trying to spin it as everybody faces police brutality, and everybody. I said no. I said, yeah, you know what? You might be right, but the consequences are way more severe for people of color than they are for white people. Now, when it comes to hip hop, then they always hit me with they always hit you with well, nobody says anything about black on black crime, and I say, you know what? You're right, but white people kill white people too. Like, so we're not talking about white on white crime. The issue is, police brutality and racism. Now, when it comes to hip hop, if we're promoting, if the wrong image of our people is getting promoted, to the top, and we just okay with it, and there's no balance, then that's our problem. We got to change that. So I just think hip hop needs to come back and be more conscious. But it's not really. I don't believe it's the artists. It's the gatekeepers. It's the industry who they choose what to promote. How could there be no more dead presidents? Dead press, no more Public Enemy. How could that be? It doesn't make sense. And I know the artists are there. I know the artists like that, but you can't. Somebody told me years ago, yo, Sully, you're never going to get a deal because your music is saying something. They don't want somebody like you. And I was I was in denial. But now I'm starting to believe that. Like, nah, they don't want somebody who's talking about something. No, they don't want that. So we got to take it. We have to do it ourselves. We got to put that message out. That's what I believe.
That's right, and that's why we at Heritage Hip Hop preach, if you're an MC, LLC yourself and build your brand. And Will Sully, we stand behind you. And if you want to work together with us, then we would definitely offer our services and our resources to you. So let's go to the next question. Let's go to the next question because that was a great answer. You said that what we talk about in the narrative, back in the day, there were things called fairy tales. And the fairy tales were stories that were used that we take for granted. The Three Little Pigs talked about laziness and death. There was another one. Let's just use the Three Little Pigs right now. The pigs talked about laziness and death. It was a story to teach children about working hard. Where hip hop is a story that talks about inner city pain and dreams of overcoming and getting out of that pain. With knowing that, what is the most important hip hop song you've ever heard?
There's not many. So, I mean, I'm narrowing it down to like 3. I'm going to say it's probably The Message.
Okay. Okay, all right.
Because to me, in The Message, we talking about one I can only pick one hip hop song. So to me, that's the one that I'm going to pick because in The Message, they were telling you about the struggle of the inner city and what's going on and how it's very stressful. The dangers of succumbing to the city life and, you know, he was preaching, but he wasn't being preachy. He was telling you like, yo, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. Broken glass everywhere. People just don't care. Talking about you could end up in jail, you know, watching somebody draw. It's like all these things, all these lessons that he's laying out, and he wasn't glorifying it. So there's a way to tell you, like, you could be street. We all from the hood. But you don't have to glorify the negativity. You could still explain what's going on and why it's going on and why you shouldn't go down this path. And sometimes it's not even an option. Sometimes you're going to wind up down that path anyway. That's why he's saying, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. Everybody's fed up. So that's the record. If I could pick one, I'm going with The Message.
That's dope. Let's continue on. The remix is one of the most important parts of hip-hop that's been lost, where we either brought out a song and changed the beat or added people and a new beat to a song to give it longevity. What is the best hip-hop remix of all time?
I gotta think. Give me a second. Let me think this out. Because it's a couple that come right up. It's between. I gotta say it in between. I got 2, but I'm gonna pick one.
I know, go ahead.
I'm fighting between the Scenario remix with Tribe Called Quest and Leaves of New School, and then I can't forget about when Biggie did the One More Chance remix. Because the One More Chance remix was like incredible. Like I said, oh shit, that's a totally different record. Sorry, excuse my French. I didn't mean to curse.
No, you good, yeah.
That was just some fly shit. One More Chance, incredible. So Scenario, I'm like, damn, Scenario was crazy, but One More Chance. So it's either one of those 2.
Shout out to Kid Hood, RIP. And you one of the first people who said Biggie on One More Chance, because people forget that was a remix. So shout out to you.
Incredible.
Now, usually, when I see Scenario remix has features. It's very, see, nowadays everybody has features, which I hate. But back in the day, the feature was rare and it was special. I want to ask you, that's also called the Guest 16. In your opinion, who has the best Guest 16 in history?
I gotta. Wait, you mean the best 16-bar verse or the?
As a feature artist, yes. Not as the main artist, as a feature artist. Who had the best Guest 16 ever?
I don't want to sound biased, but damn. I'm thinking.
Be yourself. Be biased. I don't care. It's more conversation. Let's go.
To me, the best. I'm gonna say. Wait. The best feature artist. So this is like he did it on multiple records. Like not just one record, or just the guy that was coming around and just knocking it out.
That's your opinion to decide. I just said who had the best feature in hip hop history. It's all good, yo.
Oh, all right. AZ, life's a bitch.
You're the second person to ever said that. And that's what's up. Everybody usually pick Eminem for Renegade, and I always give him the history. Eminem's not really the feature. That's his record. He gave it to Jay.
That song. Yeah, but Jay, exactly.
But the top three I hear is Eminem, Lil Wayne, and Jay-Z. But you said AZ for Life's a Bitch. You're the second person on Heritage Hip Hop to ever say that. So salute to you. You really got that in, and I appreciate that. If you had the chance to make your dream track, who would rap with you, and then who would do the beat on your dream track, dead or alive, no limitations?
Who would do the track? I need a Havoc track, and I need Prodigy.
Rest in peace to Prodigy, one of the best MCs ever. And we don't talk about him enough. Yes.
Nope.
So in a 2 or 3 year phase, Prodigy was the best MC in New York. Like, isn't it, yo? And people don't give him his respect, I guess, because of the book, mostly. But, man, he had some of them bars that was prolific, man. Him and Nas was top 2 in Queens at one time, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So, once again, thank y'all for listening to Heritage Hip Hop. We are on the line with Will Sully, a great producer and written artist. You can check out his new video, Life After X, out right now off his new album, Life After X. He's worked with other artists who you may know. If you want to know who they are, do your homework. We want you to check him out and not just ride the wave of other people he's worked with. He's that dude that you should check out. So, thank you for the interview, and let's finish out with our most important question. Are you ready for the question now?
Sure.
In 2,000 years, they're going to open up a time capsule. In 2,000 years, unfortunately, you're not going to be here. So, and when they open up that time capsule and your music is given to a whole new generation, what is the legacy that you left behind to make the world better because you did music? How did you impact the world to make it better?
My music would stand for, I guess, self believing in yourself and to keep pushing, building on your brand, and doing all that you can do on your own before you ask for help.
Word. So self-preservation and self-commitment helps make knowledge of self and self-creation important. Will Sully, it was an honor to interview you, and I pray that this interview did you justice. Thank you for coming on Heritage Hip Hop.
Thank you, Heritage Hip Hop. Appreciate y'all.
No doubt. So everybody out there, support Will Sully and know that hip hop comes from the heart. And it's not only the music that you make, but it's how you live your music, live your message, and honor God in it. So with that, we say peace, and we out.
Thank you once again for tuning in to this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Will Sully is an MC and a producer that has something to say in his music, and if you pay attention, not only will you walk away with gems, but you will get inspiration to help your ear mature and maybe walk different in your life with more mature steps and perspective. This episode was brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. If you're looking to repair your credit and get out of debt and not have to wait for stimulus checks to give you some type of money, please contact Transparent Credit Repair at www.transparentcreditrepair.com, and you can call them at 862-250-5122. Heritage Hip Hop's podcast is brought to you by a team of individuals that do prolific work. And to shout out the team, our virtual assistant is Fatty's Place, FADDYSPLACE. If you're looking for someone to help you get your social media to pop and to make sure that you're being seen everywhere, contact Fatty's Place on Instagram. We have an MC who went behind the scenes to do marketing, promotion, and placement. His name is Fire Jaws. You can hit him on Instagram at FIREJAWS. Promotion, marketing, and placement can lead you to be not only well known, but well seen when it comes to your art, your craft, or your business. So make sure you contact Fire Jaws. We want to give a shout out to affiliate shows that work with Heritage Hip Hop. Diamonds Entertainment LLC, DIEMENZ Entertainment LLC, which you can follow on Instagram, which is ran by Lex Diamonds, who talks about the other sides of hip hop that we don't talk about on here, mostly sports, fashion, and things that are a little more male talk, barbershop type talk, you know. And the Big A Show, which is on YouTube right now. To see the Big A Show, you can follow Adayar, which is AHDAYAR on YouTube. Once again, if you'd like to support Heritage Hip Hop, go to our website. We are at www.heritagehiphop.com. We also have Heritage Hip Hop on YouTube. We take donations. Soon we'll be building a Patreon page. And we have a store if anyone wants to support by buying any apparel, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, etc. Our store is www.storefrontier.com/heritage hip hop. Before we get out of here, we want to say thank you to everybody who's listened and supported. Thank you for giving us your time. We have great interviews coming. And in this ever-changing world, stay safe. COVID and other things are going on in this world that are dwindling our numbers. And now that we see the importance of all people in this world and we're fighting for equality and justice, may the Most High bless us all as we live this life and leave a testament and legacy to our children and those coming behind us. So for everybody out there, keep fighting the good fight and let God lead your path. At the end of the day, the moral of life is to follow the Most High and do right by His name. And in it, you'll be blessed in it. And with that, we're at the end of our show. So we say peace, and we're out.